Yo, what's going on? What's going on? This is your host Demetrius with the PPP Panthers Prime Podcast. Hey man, I hope y'all doing good today, man. Hey man, there's a lot of activity going on in NFL today, man. Two of my running backs that I picked, man, they gone. Just like that. We're gonna get into it, man. Hey man, y'all show some love in the chat, man. We're gonna get into it right now. We ain't gonna be here long, man. So the topic for today: should the Carolina Panthers sign a free agent running back? Should they sign a free agent running back? You know, when I sit and I look at the running back room right now with Carolina, it's kind of hard for me to believe that Miles Sanders nursing a groin injury along with Chuba Hubbard and Raheem Blackshear is going to get the job done. And I think it's pretty evident to Frank Reich after watching what happened on Saturday with the Jets that Chuba Hubbard just isn't that elite running back like what we need. He's definitely a number two. I would even go as far as saying a number three. I don't believe that Chuba Hubbard is by any stretch of the imagination a decent running back. And I think it's just time for us to go ahead and move on from Chuba. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I think that this week here, the Giants is gonna tell a lot. Miles Sanders hopefully would be out there. I looked today and I saw a article from I believe it was Joe Persons from the Athletic saying Sanders, who suffered a groin injury at practice last Wednesday, looked like a strong candidate to miss his second straight preseason contest. Yeah, he might miss it against the Giants also. So I mean, when we look at what's needed to get ready for the NFL season, missing preseason is pretty big in my opinion. That allows you to knock the dust off, kind of get back into the groove of things. And with him missing, another preseason game, and probably not even playing against the Lions for the last one, it's a little concerning for me with him nursing a growing injury already, along with Chuba Hubbard not being efficient, as a running back. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a little concerned about our running back room right now. I don't think enough is being spoken about as far as the running back room. I think that we have a big issue with when it comes down to that, man. So it says that Friday's road game against the Giants, he's going to probably miss that one. Chuba Hubbard and Raheem Blackshear will continue to handle valuable first team reps. Guys, that's concerning. I have a little bit more faith in Raheem Blackshear than I have in Chuba Hubbard. I'm going to be honest with you. I have a little bit more faith in him. Last year, I think Raheem had 2 touchdowns. I think he had a little bit less yards than Chuba Hubbard, but we use Raheem down at the goal line when it really matters because he's a little bit shorter than Chuba, but he's bigger, he's stockier, and he don't mind getting hit. He can see those lanes. He's also, I wouldn't call him a Christian McCaffrey type player, but he's a scat back as well. He can catch the ball out the backfield. If you're doing a option play where you have the option to do a quarterback option with him rolling out wide, and you could pitch it to him. You could pitch it to Raheem Blackshear. He's going to bring it in for a touchdown if you're that close to the goal line. So I think that as far as the running back crew that we have right now, we need a little bit more firepower when it comes down to that. Hey, real quick, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Every subscription helps. Don't forget to do that for me, all right? So we're going to run through this real quick. I'm not going to be here too long, man. I want to know, do you guys think that we should sign a free agent running back? I'm going to look at some of y'all comments real quick. Let's see here. We got off the block, off the porch. Market has shrunk a little bit now. We're going to get into that. A lot has happened since I posted this last night. A lot has happened. Facts. He's a number 3 running back. That's facts, yo. That's facts, man. Elizabeth, I say signing Fournette for 1 year. Would love Cook, but doubtful we can afford him. Hey, I got some news for you. I'm gonna get into it real quick. There you go. Hey, just signed. Just signed with the Jets. Hey, off the porch. We gonna get into it. Man. I think Fournette is the best fit for us. Hey, SC Space. Yeah. I believe so too, man. If you look at my community section last week, I posted when Miles Sanders got injured. I said, do y'all think we need to go ahead and get Leonard Fournette to bring him in? A lot of people said no. The vote for Ezekiel Elliott was no as well. And if you read the news today or saw anything on Twitter, hey, he's with the Patriots. A 1-year deal for $6 million. I believe that's what it is. And I think Dalvin Cook to the Jets, I want to say it was like a $8 million or a $6 million, between $6 and $8 million Dalvin Cook got? No, let me tell you. It's a 1-year deal. Don't know the details yet of it, but I think it's between 6 and 8 million that he got. So we know that these guys are going to be going for 1-year deals, prove it deals, and the valuation may be in that 5 mil to maybe 8 mil range. But I think it's well worth it when you definitely need hey, off the porch. Listen, I was mad when he left. I was mad when he left, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. She performs in flashes. Hey, that's a fact. That's a fact, yo. Like but he has to have someone. He has to have someone ahead of him, like a number one, to really push him. Chuba can't operate on his own, man, and it's unfortunate. That's why I'm a little nervous, about what we got going on here in Carolina. If you're not dressing, if you're not performing during preseason, that's an issue. And I don't feel comfortable going into Atlanta without having a number one running back. I just don't, man. So let's look at this real quick. Let's take this comment off the screen real quick. Let's see here. I got to pull you off real quick. All right. There we go. All right, cool. So the remaining list for running backs. Let's go ahead and just take Dalvin Cook off, and let's go ahead and take Ezekiel Elliott off because they're gone. So we got Leonard Fournette, Kareem Hunt, J.D. McKissick, Rex Burkhead, Darrell Henderson, Trent Cannon, Malcolm Brown, Dontrell Hilliard, and T.Y. Johnson. Now, when I made this live up yesterday and going through all my slides today, the 4 running backs that I did put on here was Dalvin Cook, Ezekiel Elliott, Leonard Fournette, and Kareem Hunt. Those were the 4 that I was targeting as potential, or at least the top tier running backs, in my opinion, for the Carolina Panthers to bring on. And since Dalvin Cook and Ezekiel Elliott is gone, let's take a look here at Kareem Hunt. Let's pull up Kareem Hunt real quick. Let's pull up his stats real quick. All right. So Kareem Hunt, last year's stats. He only had 468 yards, 3 touchdowns, and his average is 3.8. I mean, not the best of stats, in my opinion. I can't remember exactly what went down for him to, not have production like that. I don't know. Maybe in the chat, you guys can enlighten me on exactly what happened with old Kareem Hunt, but I can't remember. But Kareem Hunt was maybe the 3rd person on my list out of the 4. The first one was Ezekiel Elliott and Dalvin Cook. Then it was he was the 4th one. Then it was Leonard Fournette and Kareem Hunt. Make no mistake about it, Kareem Hunt is a down the field, running back. He doesn't mind going inside those gaps. He doesn't mind going right up the middle. And I think that's what Carolina needs. When we look back at last season, how we opened up the run lanes for Deontay Foreman to do what he has to do. We need that same formula. When you look back at Carolina Panthers football, from the Jonathan Stewarts and D'Angelo Williams and stuff like that, and many, many more, Christian McCaffrey, our offense has always been predicated on a good run, a good running back crew, a good running back sync. Like it's always been like that here in Carolina, and half of that could be because we were more so of a coach by a defensive coach, and when you have a defensive-minded coach, you kind of think run more than you think pass because you have a less likelihood of turning the ball over. That's a defensive mindset. All right. You have a less likelihood of turning the ball over when you run the ball. You have a more likelihood of turning the ball over when you pass it. So it makes sense that Ron Rivera, John Fox, all these, defensive-minded head coaches had huge run games. Had a thought process to bring in running backs, and so on with Steve Wilkes. You saw how he operated up under the 2-back, and you can even say a 3-back system with Deontay Foreman last year, Chuba Hubbard, and Raheem Blackshear. So I want to say Kareem Hunt is still an option. He's still an option for Carolina. And if Frank Wright is as forward-minded thinking as I think he is, if Deuce Daly really sits back and analyzes the running back room, I'm pretty sure it's not just us Carolina Panther creators that are looking at this and saying, man, this is probably going to be an issue week one against Atlanta. Because Atlanta has a stout defense. They just they put a lot of money into their defensive line. Their defense is good. Make no mistake about it. I do believe we're going to come out on top, but it's predicated on giving Bryce Young a safety blanket as well. It's game one. Let's be honest. It's game one, and we need to make sure that our first round quarterback, has a safety blanket somewhere in there. Whether it's Miles Sanders coming back healthy, if it's us bringing in another running back off the street. Whichever way we got to do it, we have to do it. We have to solidify our running back room like today. Like if it doesn't happen by Wednesday, I'm going to have a fit. I'm telling you, man. I'm going to have a whole fit. And it just makes more sense, man. Let's see here. I really like yeah. I mean, when he's healthy, yeah, man, he's he's pretty good, man. He had a pretty good game against us last year, week one. Who did we play week one? Yeah, the Brown. Yeah, man. And you talking about Kareem Hunt? Yeah, man. And I think it's important, man, that we don't let up off of this, man. They have to bring in. They got to bring in a running back. I mean, they just have to. It's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If we want to beat Atlanta week one, we got to bring in a running back. Let's look at Leonard Fournette real quick. Hey guys, we ain't gonna be here long. We ain't gonna be here long. We talking. We ain't gonna be here that long, man. We talking real quick. Let's see here. Leonard Fournette. Let's pull up his stats real quick. Leonard Fournette, he was with the Bucks. So last year, 668 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3.5 yards a carry. Wasn't his best year at all. To be honest with you, it wasn't the Bucks' best year at all either. With all of us finishing within a game of each other, it wasn't the best showing for the NFC South. Yet, his production was still pretty good. It wasn't as good as Dalvin Cook's. The Jets got a gem. 1,100 yards, 8 touchdowns, 4.4 carry. And everybody talked about Ezekiel Elliott. Let's pull up Ezekiel Elliott's stats real quick. Zeke, 12 touchdowns, 876 yards, 3.8 yards a carry. That's why these two were number 2 on my list, man. I mean, if we would have got Dalvin Cook, I would have been a whole lot more excited about us going into week one, with Atlanta. My prediction is this: if we see Chuba Hubbard do good against the Giants, then there's a possibility that we're not even going to look at, an option for running back or bringing in a running back if Miles Sanders is still, nursing that groin injury. But if he doesn't, if he's not looking good, I guarantee you, by the end of that game going into next week, the Carolina Panthers is going to acquire a running back. Make no mistake about it, man. It's going to happen. It has to happen. You said Leonard Fournette is injury prone. I mean, hey, we don't really need him that much. We just need him just to get whatchamacallit back. We only need Leonard Fournette. And see, that's the thing about it. Leonard Fournette was running almost I want to say probably like 60% of the snaps, maybe 60 to 80% of the snaps. He kind of died down a little bit last year. But we don't need him to be that guy. We just need him to be that guy on third down, probably. And I don't feel comfortable with Chuba Hubbard or Raheem Blackshear being in that full-time capacity as a number 2. I just don't. I don't see why Carolina kept him. Well, of course I see why. We had Matt Rule. But I think it makes more sense to go ahead and bring him in, let him be, the third down back, get them yards, them nice, them hard, gritty yards, and make it happen. Shoot, from the looks of it, so is Sanders. Hey, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, and it makes sense now why the Philadelphia Eagles let him walk. It makes some sense now. I don't know how he was, with the Eagles, but if I from a conversation I had earlier today with an Eagles fan, he said that Miles Sanders always had little tweaks and issues, with dealing with growings. I don't know what he's doing, but he always had a growing issue, man. That always kind of kept him out and kind of set him to the side. It's always been something kind of nagging with him, when he was with the Eagles, which isn't a good sign, man. It really isn't. I don't feel comfortable with the Carolina Panthers going into week one, uh, going into week one like this, man. I think we need to solidify our running back room ASAP. I mean, ASAP. Hey, I'm about to drop this link real quick in the chat, man. If y'all want to pull up, y'all come pull up, man. Let's have a conversation, man. Hey, the link's in the chat. Y'all want to pull up, come pull up. They might have somebody down there. They might have somebody down there at that training camp. Yeah, hey, listen. If the Carolina Panthers are smart enough, they'll elevate somebody. They'll elevate somebody. Yeah. But do we know if he's going to be ready game one? That's the issue. I mean that's the whole issue. If they know that person is game one ready, then yeah, go ahead and elevate him from the practice squad. But if you ain't sure, man, if they're not, I mean, because they didn't use them, they didn't use nobody else really in my. Well, I didn't really see the rest of the preseason game. I got up out of there, man. Once I started seeing Matt Corral throwing them ducks, I got up out of there. So I needed to go take a look and see if they use any other running backs besides Chuba Hubbard on Saturday. Hey, somebody drop in the chat. Did they use any other running backs on Saturday? I don't understand why we got so many guys with growing injuries. Something got to be going. Hey, man, they using them too much, man. Yeah, they putting up things to extra use, man. Hey, man, you gotta be you gotta slow down, some partner. You know what I mean? You gotta slow down, some man. Blackshear played. Okay, I mean that's cool. And like I said, I got more faith in Blackshear than I do in Chuba Hubbard. I have no faith at all in Chuba Hubbard to do anything for the Carolina Panthers going past week one or going past preseason. I just don't, man. And you know, if the Carolina Panthers would have, and that's probably what they're going to do. What they're probably going to do is they're probably going to throw in some of those practice squad running backs. As a matter of fact, that's what they're going to do. With Miles Sanders still dealing with that growing injury and not suiting up, they're more than likely going to go ahead and put him in there. I like Spencer Brown. Hey, Spencer Brown was showing some splashes. I just wish they would have, threw him in a lot more, man, for the preseason. And that's why it's hard for me to see, listen to Frank Wright and how he explained how we were just gonna be vanilla, over that first game. We're vanilla and we're evaluating, but we already know what Chuba Hubbard and what Raheem Blackshear is going to do. You put them in for, first series, Bryce. You put your best in first. Let's see how they look. And then you go through and you start looking at all the other intangibles that the Carolina Panthers have. And unfortunately, we just didn't see that. They kept Matt Corral in there for the whole game, and I wanted to see more of Jake Luton. And make no mistake about that, Jake Luton is going to be on the Carolina Panthers. If he do good this week and Matt Corral do bad, hey, you can bet your bottom dollar. I believe in Chuba Hubbard until last year when he had 2 fumbles. And that's a fact. He had them 2 fumbles. What game was that? That wasn't Seahawks. It was a home game. It was a home game last year, I think. or maybe it was the Bengals. It was either home game or the Bengals game. One of them games, Chuba Hubbard just sucked, man. Brown got a couple. Brown got a couple plays. He got a couple plays. How did he do, man? Let me pull that up real quick. Spencer Brown. Let's see how he did in that game. Spencer Brown's Panthers. Let's pull up his preseason stats. All right, it said he had 4.3 yards per carry and 34 yards. He had eight carries for 34 yards. His average was 4.3 yards. Longest was a 13-yard run. What was Chuba's longest? I don't think Chuba broke 5 yards, man. Maybe 6. It was the Giants. We played the Giants at home. Or we played. Did we play the Giants last year? He was okay, but he was behind a trash line. Hey, he bust through the line, a trash line with a 13-yard gain. I mean, now granted, they probably had their trash line in too as well. They probably had their trash line in too, man. I mean, shoot. It's hard to say right now, man. It's hard to say. Do you think with the injury to Terrence Marshall Jr., we should go after another wide receiver? Hey, man, I posted that earlier, man. I don't think the injury. From what I heard from Sheena said that he sat in the front seat of the cart and went into, the evaluation room. Then I heard from another source that it was a significant injury to his back. So the running back room is pretty deep right now. I know we got Demir Bird out. We got TMJ that's going to be out. But the running back, not the running back, the wide receiver room is pretty deep right now. I would probably hold off on that. We're going out there and signing. I think we got bigger fish to fry on the O line and the O line and the running backs. I think is more top priority than wide receiver. Just in my opinion, I wouldn't go out there and fool no wide receivers right now when we got a whole freaking room full of them boys. I think if Mingo ready, we should be good. Yeah, exactly. I think if Mingo's ready to go, man, we just hold tight. Demir Bird, I don't know how long he's out for, and then TMJ, we don't even got the idea on what's even wrong with that dude. I mean, it's kind of hard to say, but I don't believe we need to go out there and get no wide receiver. I think that's a dub. Like, let it ride. If Mingo's good, roll with Mingo. Tate LaVisca Chenault out the route tree because that dude sucks. I mean, how you don't know this your route now? How you don't know that you're supposed to come back for the ball? You take him up the field, break it off 10 yards, come back for the ball. You still running up the field like you in Los Angeles, still practicing, man. This might sound crazy, but I actually like what I saw out of Shi Smith on Sunday. I'm still on the fence with Shi Smith, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm on the fence with Shi because Shi is almost like a Chuba to me. He's only good in splashes. He's not consistent. He's not a consistent. He's not consistently good, man. And it kind of it mirrors Tommy Tremble and Ian Thomas. Like, you hope that they catch it, and when they do catch it, you're surprised. You know what I mean? So I'm still on the fence with Shi. I think Shi has a better opportunity now to make the team, to stay on the team now with these injuries. If Demir Bird was still healthy, I think Shi Smith would have been gone. To be honest with you, we might have to trade for another guard. Yeah. Yeah, our guards, man. Our guards and our tackles gotta step up. Dalvin Cook to the Jets. How much he got? Yeah. Look, he got about 8 mil, look like. LaVisca Chenault. LaVisca don't have no route tree. He, hey, he's still at the roots, right? He's still at the roots, man. Hey, I get him, man. He wants to, elevate what he doing, man. My man, Scott, what's good, man? What's going on with you, man? Good to see you back, bro. Good to see you back, man. Yeah, man. If LaVisca Chenault, man, he just got to stay with the bubble screens and the quick outs. That's his thing, man. And it's sad because we can't even we can't even use him on anything special because he can't do too much more than that. All that hype that we had in the offseason with him running routes deep down the field, running against freaking air and catching the ball. And you couldn't do that when it was your time to finally shine on a simple 10-yard, 7 to 10-yard, out comeback route. You didn't come back. Nah, man. Ain't got time for it, man. If Shaq can be consistent, I love to showcase him. Hey, if he can be consistent, man, that's the biggest thing, man. John will be better in this system. You think so? I hope so, man, because he showed some splashes last year, man. But I don't know him and whatchamacallit, man. Ian Thomas, man, it's just two tight ends that just a bag of rocks to me, man. That just ain't useful. Derek B, what's going on? Hey, shout out PPP. That's right, man. That's right. This ain't the payment protection plan. It's the PPP, baby. Hey, it's funny story, man. When I was thinking about doing this, man, I said, "What's a good name to name this podcast, man?" And at the time when I was thinking about it, I think this girl from Texas was being persecuted or prosecuted for PPP fraud. And I just said PPP, and I just kept saying it. I said Panthers Prime Podcast. Hey, funny story, man, but that's how it came. I was watching a little news clip, man. And that's how I came up with the PPP, man. Panthers. I figured out the PPP before I got the Panthers Prime Podcast, man, which is funny. This system seems to favor. Yeah, I mean, it does. It does favor tight ends, man, because it's more spread out. When you think about that pass to Adam Thielen, I want to say it was the second play of Bryce Young's first series. Look at how spread out we are. Like this is a spread out offense, and there's so much. Like you got to cover all blades of grass when you're playing against the Carolina Panthers. If we're in this quote unquote vanilla offense that we're seeing right now, which I do believe is going to be how we're going to be looking. We're going to be lining up in trips, bunch, and stuff like that. It's going to be a lot of motion behind in the back of the field, and it's going to be advantageous for these two positions, the slot receiver and someone coming out the backfield. We get a lot of yards when we're lined up in trips bunch. I see it already because it's not like we have scrubs that are going to be lined up in trips. You're going to have Mingo. You'll probably have Adam Thielen, Hayden Hurst. Then you have, maybe when he comes back, TMJ, and you may have LaVisca Chenault. I mean, you got some good speed on the field. I didn't even bring up DJ Chark. So, I mean, it makes sense that this right here is going to favor tight ends, man. Yeah, boy. Hey, Scott, you know what time it is, baby. You know what time it is, man. Steve Wilks had the right idea on how to play to this team's strength. Hey, man, that's a fact, man. Game Dreamer 58. Hey, man, if I could cash app you, I'll cash app you, man. That's the best comment I've seen all day, man. Best comment I've seen all day, man. And man, let's pause, man. Let's pay a little homage to Steve Wilks. If Steve Wilks was still the head coach for the Carolina Panthers would have won on Saturday. Make no mistake about it. We would have ran the ball 1,000 times, but we would have put points on the board. Steve Wilks told y'all when we was in Seattle, they said we wasn't going to win. They said we was going to tank, and we ain't tank, yo. Steve Wilkes told all the business from the Carolina Panthers front office, man. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. That's why I like Uncle Steve, man. Uncle Steve ain't care, man. And just how everybody bought into his system, man, just automatically. Like we let Matt Rule go. You know, we had that dumb game with the Rams. And after that, Bucks. Boom. PJ Walker. Hey, I'm I'm gonna say this. As much as PJ Walker, my phone going off, as much as PJ Walker and a lot of people's opinions was trash, hey, that dude, given the amount of like time to really develop in the offseason, PJ Walker could have been a whole problem. He could have been a whole problem, man. Seems like our O-line is built for the run. You would think the coaches would rather, well, I would realize that, yeah. I mean, it makes sense, Derek. You know, this is going to be a team that's built for the run, but with Bryce Young, they got to defend all blades of grass with the pass because now we have an accurate quarterback that can do that can do multiple things. He's an accurate passer, and he can also process real quick. So don't think, your sting defense or your zero blitz is going to affect him like that. If he pick up on it, it's game over. It's game over. And that same thing, like I just said, with that trips bunch, boom, we run someone out the backfield in a motion. He see a zero blitz. Hey, that's to the flats all day, baby. Because you bringing 7 up in the box, 7 to 8 up in the box on a zero blitz. All right, cool. We'll probably use the slot man to probably block up or the running back to block up something. Run Laviska Shenault out the backfield or hit it right there, short 5-yard slant to Hayden Hurst. Hey, Hayden he's going 20 yards. He's going 20 yards. So, yeah, man. I mean, it makes sense. We need to bring a Tolbert. Yeah, man. Big Mike Tolbert, man. Shout out. That's right. Shout out to Uncle Steve, man. Hey, the best, shortest. Oh, do y'all remember Perry Fuel? I'm sorry. I probably made y'all night horrible by saying that man's name. But y'all remember Uncle Perry? Yeah, the worst interim head coach ever, man. I was at the Rams game. Hey, listen, I watched that game, young boy Sling Blade. I got so mad at that game, kid. And it was like the whole game plan was just to showcase McCaffrey, which it was. We showcased to him. We showcased it that he can catch the ball. That he can run the ball, just to go ahead and offload him and move forward with whatever we move forward with, man. But I'm not gonna lie, we got better after we let McCaffrey go, man. I wish we kept PJ Walker and traded. Say it again. Say it again, man. Say it again, bro. PJ Walker was that dude. PJ Walker, and it's actually, I'm not gonna lie, if you peep game from preseason last year, how they did him, the goal was to go ahead and run it with Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, and Matt Corral. Matt Corral got injured. They had to keep him. Sam Darnold got injured. Baker Mayfield started playing like trash. And old PJ Walker came in. 62-yard touchdown to DJ Moore. Hey, if he would have, if PJ Walker would have won against the Cincinnati Bengals, or at least put up an effort, I think PJ Walker would have stayed the starter a little bit longer, and we probably would have been looking at a different season, man. Because he's a gunslinger, and if you look back at his days when he was with the XFL, he don't mind getting hit. Hey, he a whole bully too now. He ain't mind getting hit. For what he was paid by the Bears, why couldn't we bring back? Hey, that's why I said yesterday, man. The Bears give him 1 year, $3 million, I think. That means the Panthers must have came in 1 year, 1.5, had to have. Because I think his contract prior to that was about 1.5 or 1.8, I think. So they may have done like the same deal. Well, no, quite possibly. But yeah, I mean his deal, and then he's not even number one. If Deontay Foreman was on the Panthers right now, he's number one. He's number one Roberts running back right now, hands down, no question asked. He's number one. He's the number one running back. We're not even looking at a Miles Sanders if we got Foreman, Raheem, and Chuba. We're not even looking at Miles Sanders. We wouldn't care about Miles Sanders then. We wouldn't be in the situation that we're in right now. We would not be in the situation that we're in right now. So as much as Scott Fitter is the GOAT of the draft, he ain't do what was right, man. He ain't do what was right for Deontay Foreman, man. The run sets up the pass, just saying they play action could be real deadly. It's gonna be real deadly, Derek. It really is. But you can't have a play action game without a play action. Like we know that our running backs is, you know, if Miles Sanders don't get healthy, we ain't got no play action. We just don't. They can't see the holes. Chuba can't see the holes, man. That's the same thing he dealt with before last season. He cannot see the holes, man. Even Steve Smith said it himself last year before we got Deontay Foreman. I don't know if he can't see the holes or if he just don't know what he's doing, but he looks bad out there. And I don't know if he thinks that Lions game, Christmas Eve, must have inflated a lot of inflated his head or something, man. But he think he still got it, yo. And he got to turn it up, man. He really does, man. Let's go ahead. And that pass, PJ Walker DJ, yo, hey, listen, Scott. I was y'all know I drive charter buses. So I was actually in Atlanta for that game. We was on the way back on 85. And I'm listening to the game. I'm like, all right, cool. D-Jax just went out. And I said in my mind, I said, man, they're going to go right to where D-Jax was at. And sure enough, boom, pass to Demir Bird, touchdown. And the fact that it got down to, I want to say it was third down or fourth down or whatever. And PJ Walker just, like, I was on the bus driving and I screamed so loud and like a couple other people did too. The coach was like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And I had it playing in my ear, man. Yo, what's good, What's good, Hey, man, I love you, man, for real, bro. I love you, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, man, if y'all haven't subscribed, man, go to Unc's page, man. Hey, I know this is PPP, man, but I'm going to do it every time you come in here, man. Go in there, get a membership, man. Good content in there, man. Show some love in this chat. Run them up, man. Hey, then run me up, Most deaf, man. Good to see you, Unc, man. What's up? If you use LaVisca in motion, you know what defense teams are scheming. Hey, listen, I mean, it's kind of obvious at this point. When we use LaVisca Chenault on the on the motion, we know what's gonna happen, man. We already know, man. Yeah, listen, man. I had everything. I'm gonna show you, man. I had all my slides for Cook, man. I mean, all my slides, the stats and stuff. I had it all for Ezekiel Elliott, and these boys gone, man. I done prepared and everything, man. So yeah, it's aggravating, man. I ain't gonna lie, but I want to ask you, man. Do you think that do you feel comfortable with us going into? I'm gonna show you this real quick, This is what Joe Persons from the Athletics said, man. He said Sanders growing is not participating in Monday's practices per Joe Person. Sanders, who suffered a growing injury at practice last Wednesday, looks like a strong candidate to miss his second straight preseason game. You know that's a problem, man. You know that's a problem. If he ain't right for this next preseason game, man, I don't feel comfortable with us going into Atlanta with Chuba Hubbard and Raheem Blackshear, man. I just don't, man. I don't feel. Hey, the bus was swerving, Scott. He was swerving. Man, I don't feel comfortable with it, man. That's his whole thing right now. I don't trust I don't trust Chuba. I trust Raheem Blackshear more than anybody. But then who's gonna run the punt returns? You know, that's what I'm saying, man. Who's gonna run the punt returns? I don't feel comfortable right now, man, with us going into Atlanta with Miles Sanders. He hasn't done anything during the preseason. He suffered a groin injury at practice. I mean, we don't know how he gonna look. We don't know how he gonna perform in Atlanta. And Atlanta's defense ain't they ain't no scrubs, man. Atlanta put a lot of money into that defense, man. Why not Chuba? What has Chuba shown us, man? Chuba ain't shown us nothing. What's old boy's name that they just told me? What's his name? What's old boy's name, real quick? Let me put my phone up, man. All right, so you got Spencer Brown. Now this could be because he was playing against the trash defense of the Jets at this time. But Chuba ain't break 13 yards. This dude had 34 yards, 4.3 yards a carry, 8 carries. Average was 4.3, and his longest was 13. Why Chuba can't break 13? Chuba only broke probably 6, 7. I don't. Chuba is going back to the way that he used to be before we got Deontay Foreman, and it's the same thing that Steve Smith alluded to before we really got going last year with Steve Wilks. Like, what's the purpose of him even being here if he can't see the hole? I mean, he can't see the hole. He can't break it. He ain't got no yak in him. He ain't got no, breaking tackles. He ain't got that, man. As soon as he make contact, boom, that's it, man. He ain't breaking. He ain't beast mode or nothing, man. So Chuba to me is not a number one. Chuba to me is at best a number 3 in the grand scheme of things right now. When it comes down to looking at Miles Sanders, Chuba Hubbard, and Raheem Blackshear, I gotta go with Raheem ahead of Chuba, man. I have to. He got more touchdowns last year than Chuba did. We used him in time frames, especially. What game was that? I want to say that was the Lions game. We're not using Chuba Hubbard on no option play. We ain't doing it. We ain't using Chuba Hubbard on no pitch play. We use Raheem Blackshear on that pitch play. Play action, boom, hand off to the running back. Sam Darnold got an option to run it in. Pitches it over to Raheem Blackshear. Raheem Blackshear accelerates going to the end zone. We ain't using Chuba like that. Chuba is a sit back in the backfield, get the ball, try to find a hole, and he barely finds a hole, man. Barely finds one. But hey, man, the links in the chat again, man. If y'all want to pull up, man, y'all can pull up on me, man. Y'all can pull up on me, man. Links in the chat. Y'all want to talk, man. I ain't had nobody yet. I know it's day 2 of me doing the stream. Somebody pull up on me. All right, Scott. Most growing injuries heal in 4 to 8 weeks in the NFL, especially re-injuring it. Yeah, as we take it seriously, could be months out. Hey, that's what I'm saying, man. Why isn't this a concern for anybody else? I haven't really heard a lot of people talking about this running back situation, man. But it's important, man. Like we can't go into Atlanta, with just a pass game. I mean, we just can't, man. We're gonna have to come in there with a decent run game, man. And I'll tell you this, their defense is pretty stout. Let me pull this up real quick. Who did they acquire on their defense, man, this year? Let me pull this up real quick. Atlanta Falcons defense. They paid someone big money, like $60 million to come back. I think it was his nose tackle, man. Let me see real quick. Atlanta Falcons defense. And trust me, I'm not afraid of them. I ain't afraid of the Falcons. I'm not. I'm not afraid of Falcons. I think that we just need to be prepared. We just need to be prepared, man. Defense. They got Grady Jarrett still. Taquan Graham at defensive line, Lorenzo Carter, linebacker Troy Anderson. I'm gonna watch that game because I heard Troy Anderson's name the other day, man. Linebacker, he put a hitting on somebody, man. AJ Terrell, Richie Grant. Yeah, man. I can't pronounce that name, but I know it's one of these. Where's the nose tackle at? Timmy Horn, Jalen Dalton. It's one of these guys. I think it's Taquan Graham. It's one of these guys on here, man. But I believe that you got to make sure that we got to make sure that our running backs is on point, man. This concerns me. This slide right here concerns me so much, man. People got to remember Bryce is still a rookie. He's gonna need a run. Help exactly, man. He's gonna need a run game, man. Are we depending solely on Chuba Hubbard? And by this account right here, let's go back to this right here. Let's go back to what Scott said. 4 to 8 weeks. So if we take this time frame, we looking at what we looking at? Maybe the Saints, maybe Seattle, if it's that bad. Maybe the Saints, maybe Seattle. I don't. Hey man, the Carolina Panthers gotta do this, man. You go out here and you bring one of these two in, man. You bring this guy in right here. You bring him in, or you bring him in. One of the two. Kareem Hunt. You bring him in. You bring Leonard Fournette, or you go off of this list right here. I mean, these are some good running backs that are still out there, man. Where's that? Where the list at? Right here. Let's move the comment out the way real quick. You got to bring them in, man. Minus Dalvin Cook, Leonard Fournette, Kareem Hunt, J.D. McKissick, Rex Burkhead. I mean, T.Y. Johnson. Hey, I'll take him. I'll take T.Y. I'll take Rex Burkhead. I'll definitely take Leonard Fournette, Kareem Hunt. I'll take J.D. McKissick, man. Because all I need is for him to go ahead and get me that third down. That's all I need. Yeah, that's all I need, man. But if we don't address this, soon, man, we're gonna be in a world of trouble, man. We're gonna be in a world of trouble, man. Hey, answer the question. Should the Carolina Panthers sign a free agent running back, man? Yeah. Should we sign a free agent running back, or are y'all comfortable? Super easy to re-injure a groin injury. That's a that's a fact, Scott. That's facts right there. You got to sit down with that one, man. You can't do too much with that. Think of all the change of direction you got to do, with, that growing area. That's a lot of change of direction, man. That muscle is pretty big. Pause. You know what I mean? I mean, that's a lot of change of direction, man. So it makes sense to me, off of what you said, Scott, man, that 4 to 8 weeks. We might be in some problems. And if it's 8 weeks, what are we looking at? Right now we 2 weeks, we a weekend right now. We a weekend. The season starts in 3. 8 weeks, we talking about Vikings, Lions, maybe Dolphins. Heck, he might not come back. He might not come back until after the bye. If it's bad, man, I don't like it. I don't like the odds there, man. Yeah, we should definitely sign a running back. Hey, I think that's the next move, man. I think that's the next move. We got to, man. That's right. We ain't comfortable. Hey, we ain't comfortable, man. Hey, go ahead and get it, man. Super pause. I got you. My son kept re-injuring his Hey, your son play like regular football, flag football, man. I'll take Hunt if he's available. Hey, let's pull up his stats real quick. Let's pull up Kareem Hunt's stats real quick. Where I put it at? Right here. Kareem Hunt, 468 yards, 3 touchdowns last year, 3.8 yards a carry. I don't know why he got so. I don't know what happened to him last year. I don't know if he got injured. I'm not too sure. I can't remember. I don't know exactly what happened to Kareem Hunt. I don't keep up with the Browns. I just was mad that he ran over us, week 1 last year and had the Baker Bowl looking crazy. You know, it would have been nice to get this guy here though. Hey, it would have been real nice to get him, man. Shoot, it is real nice to get him, man. Who got Frank's number? Hey, quiet as kept. I got his brother's number. Quiet as kept. I got his brother's number, man. I drive for Wingate University as well. I talk to Joe. I wouldn't say often, but just enough. I think I'm taking them the second week that they got to play. They got to play somewhere in upstate North Carolina. I mean, the mountains of North Carolina. We're taking 2 buses up there to take them up there. But if y'all go to my other page, it's called Demetrius, the Motor Coast Driver. You'll see me with Wingate University taking them to Richmond and to Benedict College last year. It's pretty fun. But Joe, I know how Frank Wright operates because Joe is just like Frank. I mean, they're the same thing, man. They like to run that cover two defense too. Just a heads up, just to let you know something. We don't have a power back that can come in and set the tone for the offense. We have 2 scat backs that can catch. And that's going to put too much on Bryce. Hey, Jamie, you talking facts, yo. You talking facts. Yeah. Now, I like Raheem, like I said, a little bit more than I like Chuba. But Chuba ain't a number 2, man. Oh, he played tackle. Okay. Okay. Hey, I'm getting ready to put my son in the tackle football, man. He's been playing flag for the past 7 years now, man. I'm getting ready to put him in that. Chubb gets the bulk of those. Okay, okay, okay. All right. Nick Chubb. Gotcha. Yeah, man. So I mean, but hey, Kareem ain't no scrub though, man. Kareem ain't no scrub, and if we don't pick him up, someone's gonna pick him up, man. I think Tennessee. How's Tennessee Titans run game this year? Derrick Henry, he's still over there. Derrick Henry want to come to the Carolina Panthers? Shoot. Hey, Leonard Fournette, 3 touchdowns, 668 yards, 3.5 yards a carry. Now, I take these stats right here with a grain of salt. The offensive line for the Bucks last year was trash. Let's just be honest. We saw Tom Brady get tackled more at the Bucks than I've ever seen him get tackled in New England. Let's just keep it 100. He got tackled more at the Bucks last season than I've seen all his years in New England, man, because that wasn't happening. And you gotta think about also how that's attributed to what's his name? Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians leaving. You got old boy coaching. He'll never know. He'll never look like he know what he's doing. I mean, Todd Bowles look like that drunk uncle that just be at grandma's house, and you don't never know when he leaves and when he comes. But when you come, he always there. So I mean, I believe that the Carolina Panthers have to look into this, man. If they don't, we're gonna be in a world of trouble come week 1 Atlanta. I mean, just a world of trouble, man. World of trouble. But hey, man, we ain't in here long. Hey, I gotta be to work at 4 o'clock in the morning, man. I'm about to shut it down in a little bit, man. Hey, real quick, I need y'all to do this for me. If you ain't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, baby. Go ahead and subscribe for me, man. Run me up a little bit if you can, man. Hey, we got another one popping off tomorrow, man. I got some more thoughts on some more things. We're gonna get into this Giants Panthers preseason game on Wednesday. So look out for that, man. And hey, y'all know what it is, man. This is your boy Demetrius with the PPP Panthers Prime Podcast, man. Y'all be easy.